Text, join FCM on a learning journey. Text in French. Logo, FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities.
Parks Development Team uses the natural tree canopy where available to address the growing thermal comfort needs of parks users.
Text, to leverage asset management practices. Text in French.
The level at which you're able to deliver services into the future in a reliable way is what will likely be affected by some of these different hazards that are either more intense, more frequent, or just haven't been experienced before.
To build climate resilience. Text in French.
They're asking the question, how is your organization operationalizing climate action?
The impacts that we've looked at are based on the province of British Columbia's guidance to municipalities, which outlines a 1 meter rise in sea level by the end of this century.
Are these strategies going to be effective, feasible, affordable, equitable, flexible, or other values that really reflect your community and what they prioritize?
Work through the 12-step framework. Text in French. A chart with 4 columns, identification, with numbers 1 to 5, assessment, with numbers 6 to 8, prioritization, with numbers 9 and 10, and management, with numbers 11 and 12. An arrow points from each numbered item to the one below. Number 7 in the second column is circled in green, assess climate change considerations on levels of service. Text, learn from elected officials. Text in French.
We need to make sure that we're looking at the environmental impacts of our decision, the risk to our natural assets, and considering the potential effects of climate change in our long-term planning.
Municipal administration. Text in French.
The difference now is that we know that the operating environment will change dramatically in the coming years. Now that we know, it's negligent not to make those better decisions.
Et puis il est important aussi d'avoir un niveau de service qui puisse être durable, c'est-à-dire qui puisse être utilisé sur plusieurs années pour qu'on puisse voir l'évolution du niveau de service dans le temps.
Technical experts. Text in French.
So at this point, you will have assessed the impacts of climate change on your levels of service and or your risk to understand where you're most vulnerable.
A chart with the previous items in bullet format, without the arrows. A red arrow points to the second item, assessment.
Ça doit amener les décideurs à se poser des questions. Est-ce que leurs infrastructures sont adaptées au changement climatique et spécialement, je dirais, les municipalités du Québec aux inondations?
Text, and climate scientists. Text in French.
Well, there are a number of different climate data portals which are available to asset managers in Canada. Some of them are at the national scale and some are at the more regional scale.
Website images. Text, as you complete a 6-module course. Text in French. Based on FCM's Climate Change and Asset Management Guide. Text in French. Drawing of a cityscape. Text, Municipalities for Climate Innovation Program. Guide for integrating climate change considerations into municipal asset management. Logo, FCM.
Of course, infrastructure improvements will likely be required to manage many of the climate change impacts.
Another reason that it's really important to include climate change considerations in your asset management policy is because that's what funders are looking for. That's what community partners are looking for.
So the more proactive outcomes that we're looking for are things like we continue to have private investment into our community, new industry, more residential development.
Text, the Municipalities for Climate Innovation Program is a 5-year $75 million program, delivered by the Federation of Canadian Municipalities and funded by the Government of Canada. Text in French. Logos, FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Canada, with flag.